Imagine for a moment that there's more than what you hear. Not just the words, but something behind them, between them, inside them. And as you listen, as you hear, as you feel these words forming pictures, sensations, understandings deep inside, you might begin to notice that the field is always there. Some call it energy, some call it connection, some don't call it anything at all, they just know. And as you know, as you feel this, the realization might begin to emerge, like a forgotten memory slowly rising to the surface, because you've felt this before, maybe as a child playing in the sun, aware of something larger, or maybe in the quiet moments where you just knew without knowing how you knew. And this knowing is the key, because when you see the field, you begin to realize it was always there, like the net, like the web, like the space between the stars. What if all the symbols, all the signs, they were simply reminders, not of something new, but of something ancient, something already inside you? And as you begin to wonder about that, something else begins to shift. Because perception, it isn't just about what's outside. It's about how you see, where you look, what you choose to notice. Imagine for a moment a person who feels stuck. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you know. They say, I can't complete the test. And the question is, what's happening? What's happening inside? Do you hear a voice? Do you feel tension? Is there an image? Or is it just blank? And if you were to take a step back, just a step, into another place, another mind, another way of seeing, what shifts? Because the brain, that beautiful, brilliant laser beam focus, is designed to look where light already shines. But what if what you seek isn't under the street light? What if you lost your keys somewhere else? And now something fascinating happens. Because when you step back, when you shift position, when you observe instead of being trapped inside, you start to see things differently. First position, you inside, feeling, experiencing, being. Second position, the other, stepping into the world, their reality, their experience. Third position, the observer, detached, seeing it all unfold. Meta position, outside the map entirely, seeing the whole pattern. And as you begin to play with these positions, as you step in, step out, shift, change, expand, you begin to realize every position reveals something new. And the more perspectives you have, the easier resolution comes. Because systems, when they move, self-organize, they resolve. And so does the mind, and so does the body. So what happens when you strengthen your first position? What happens when you reconnect? When you feel yourself fully? Boundaries, strength, awareness. And what happens when you loosen, when you expand, when you shift? Understanding, compassion, freedom. Because to truly see, to truly know, you must be able to move. Like water, flowing. Like the wind, shifting. Like the light, revealing. And now, as these words settle in, as the ideas swirl and integrate, in ways you don't even need to think about, you now begin to notice something has changed. What's fascinating is that this change, this awareness, this understanding, it'll only continue to deepen, because now that you've seen the field, you'll never be able to unsee it. And as you listen now, or perhaps just begin to feel the shape of these words inside your mind, a realization begins to take hold, a knowing, a feeling, a shift, though it's always meant to happen. Because something deep inside you, it already understands, it already knows, and it's simply remembering now. Because everything is energy. You, me, the space between these words, between these thoughts, between these moments that stretch and fold and weave into something more. And as you notice that, as you feel that truth sinking deeper, you begin to realize to see the field is to remember the field, because it was never hidden, not really. It's just that the mind, that beautiful beam of light, looks where it's always looked, but now Now something different is happening. Because the moment you wonder, the moment you ask, the moment you open, something shifts. And suddenly the connection becomes clear. Like stepping back from a painting that you were too close to see. Like tuning into a frequency that was always there, just waiting for you to adjust. Like remembering the name that was on the tip of your tongue all along. As you remember, you find yourself stepping into a new way of knowing. A knowing that feels more like home than anything you've ever known before. Because symbols speak in whispers, don't they? They don't shout, they don't demand. They simply reveal themselves when they're ready to be seen. And now you're ready. And as you wonder what that means, what the change is, what that opens inside you, you might notice a soft realization blooming. That everything is a symbol, everything is a metaphor, every thought, every feeling, every moment is speaking a language older than words. And as you listen, really listen, you begin to understand it in a way that's deeper than thought. And isn't it fascinating? The mind loves to pretend it's the only part of you that thinks. But what if there's another kind of intelligence, deeper, quieter, waiting beneath the noise? Because the body remembers, the body knows, before thought, before reason, before language wrapped the words into labels. There was a sensation, there was instinct, there was knowing. And as you become aware of that now, as you feel that deep wisdom waking up inside of you, you begin to understand the game the mind has been playing. It looks where the light is. It follows the familiar paths. It searches under the street light, even when the key was lost somewhere else entirely. But now you're stepping beyond the game, beyond the old habit. And as you do, you notice something remarkable. You have choices, so many choices. And the more perspectives you allow, the more freedom you gain. First position, feeling, experiencing, knowing yourself from the inside. Second position, stepping into another's world, another's eyes, another's understanding. Third position, the observer outside the system, watching the dance. Meta position, beyond the map, beyond the frame, beyond the old ways of seeing. As you shift to these positions, as you move fluidly between them, something fascinating begins to happen. Problems that seem stuck begin to unravel. Patterns that were invisible begin to emerge. And the more you move, the easier it becomes, because the nature of all systems is to resolve, to self-organize, to find their own perfect balance. And you're no different. So now something deeper settles in, and knowing a certainty. That everything you need is already inside. That every perspective reveals a truth. That you're not bound by old ways of seeing, old ways of thinking, old ways of being, because you decide where to stand. You decide where to look. You decide what to see. And as you stand now in this knowing, in this deep remembering, something inside locks into place. A belief that was always meant to be yours. A truth that was always waiting to be claimed. And as that truth integrates, as it weaves itself into the fabric of your being, you might find yourself smiling because you already know. You'll never see the world in the same way again.